Man, let's
Wait
get
2 years.
into it, man. March Madness. We in the middle of March. We're back, really back towards the end of March. But March Madness has been kicking off, man. It was a good weekend. My Gators had a nice win against UConn. I thought we was gonna lose. We was down 7 going into the last 5 minutes. Then we rallied up and made a good game. What's some other games that's been going on? Xavier in Texas, I think in the first round was a pretty solid game. We had some upsets. UNC got upset by Ole Miss. And the biggest storyline right now is Duke is the only ACC team left in the entire bracket going into Sweet 16 weekend. And I think the SEC has 7 teams. So about half of the bracket is teams from the SEC, including a top 3 matchup with number 2 Tennessee and number 3 Kentucky. Then we also got John Calipari with Arkansas. I'm gonna pull up the Sweet 16 bracket real quick. We could go through these
Seven
predictions really.
SEC
Before
teams
we
in the
just
tournament.
just
Ain't
skip
none of
over
them
this,
Georgia.
What you want to talk about?
I would like to note that Texas just hired Xavier's coach. Them boys fired their coach like the next morning,
And
and then
hired the same
hired
dude?
the same dude
That's
who just beat that man.
crazy. And
If
I
you
think that
can't
was the
beat them,
first.
join them or hire
Yeah,
them.
that was really the
Yeah,
first 4 game. That's what it is. It was the first 4 game.
yeah.
That's
Them
what it
boys
You
was.
can't beat
So it
them,
immediately
wasn't
fire
even
fired
them.
really the
that
full
man.
tournament yet. It was
Get
the
that
If
man
you
a
pre.
text
if
It
you
was
message.
if you beat them, join them and teach them how to win.
It's like they definitely told that man, hey, if you win this game, nigga, we got you.
we got
Well,
you. Hey,
you
do
write the
what you just
paycheck.
did.
You write
Do
the paycheck. You
Hey,
clearly know
bro.
how to coach us better than we know how to coach us.
Clearly.
facts. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be,
Like,
and that's one thing I hate about the tournament. I don't like the first 4 games for the 11 seeds. I get it for the 16 seeds because it's like those are the way less seeds, but it's like the 11 seeds. It's like why we got to do it for them? Why don't we
You
let the
know,
15 and the
I
16
think
do
that's
that?
just
I
how it
don't like
falls.
you talking about the games. I don't like the fact that people can still do be in the transfer portal and all this firing and hiring and shit all during the tournament going on.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Ah,
was the thing. Like, I
that's
thought it
just
was
That's
a
part.
sports.
People
There's a
That's
not
dude
just
used
that's
race
to
literally
that.
pit.
The
on.
transfer
That's a
portal.
dude that's literally in the Sweet 16. He's Scottie Pippen's son. He in the transfer portal.
ain't
Bro,
Scottie
Scottie
Pippen's son
Pippen's
in?
son,
Ain't he
Justin Pippen.
graduated?
He talking
no,
about Justin Pippen, not Scottie Pippen Jr.
not Scottie Pippen Jr.
Oh, okay, okay. You got it.
Justin.
Okay.
Justin,
He in the transfer portal.
no way.
Yeah, well, you better look it up.
You better look it up, man. That's crazy.
Damn, bro. I mean, the reason why I say damn, and the reason why I know who him, blah blah blah, he played for Michigan. So it's like, damn, I
Yeah,
ain't like that shit crazy. But in that same breath, I don't really think he played.
I
Like,
get that, but you don't do that during the tournament, though.
I don't think it should matter, man. If somebody want to transfer, somebody should transfer. I ain't gonna lie. I'm all for motherfuckers wanting to transfer in the middle of the season. That's for both sports, football and basketball. I would love to see how that
I'm
work
not
out.
here for that.
We do trades in the
Nah,
middle of the season. We
Nah, I'm
do
cool with that.
we do
nah,
That's
trades in
a
the middle
it's
of the season.
pro
different.
league.
But
That's a
but
pro
then
league.
also it's college.
That's
You can't just
different.
transfer classes.
This is
Add you
this
know.
is yeah.
Yeah, bro. You
Now you
don't,
turning college into
bro,
the
because you ain't
NFL.
getting no burn
Like,
at Woodville. That don't mean you get to transfer to
You
Jenkins
feel me? Like
or
that's a
get
We've
pro
some.
seen it
league.
happen. We've seen that happen.
Yeah, that ain't,
But
his ass sat out a whole year, ain't he?
shout out a
uh,
whole year, ain't changed schools.
Nah, I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie. Yeah, he not playing, bro. Like, come on.
but
1.6 points, point 0.7 rebounds, point 0.6
oh
assists.
yeah.
Hey,
Go ahead,
hey,
go
Av-
where you need to
hey!
go.
Don't blow
Don't
up
And
the
put him out
what
on
spot,
school is
front.
he
Mike.
at?
Nigga
What school is he at?
averages 6 minutes per game.
We might could bring him on the show. Don't put his
That's
business.
crazy.
I'm cool.
Well, he got more experience. We got the same amount of experience. 'Cause I'm pretty sure you take
I
all 3
sit.
of us, we can score 1.6 in a college
I
game.
I
sit.
mean, him and
I promise you, I can score more than.
Mikey in the transfer portal.
I can see why Mikey would be in the transfer portal. The only reason why Mikey went to UCF is because of the things that traveled amongst his name. You know what I'm
Oh, I
saying?
forgot about him.
So I can see
To
him
Did
going
they
Florida.
make
to
the
somewhere
tournament?
else.
I don't think UCF made the
Hell
tournament.
Nah,
no, bro. Come
Nope.
on.
hell
They
no.
was
We'll
they was
check for
hooping.
it.
They started doing better, but hell no, bro.
No,
Like
they did not make the tournament.
these are national programs that they're going against, bro. Like you can't. It don't matter.
Yeah, because that's the
BYU,
thing. We don't have a lot
BYU.
of Cinderella teams that don't make this tournament consistently. I would
Yeah,
say, see, out of this team,
they're like 16.
But
of
They're
see,
course, you got
literally
the
I want to say
HBCUs
this
gonna always
though,
put in
'cause
two.
I seen they was talking about on ESPN talking about Cinderellas and all that good stuff.
It's not a big one this year. That's one
Let's
thing
Listen,
go,
about the tournament.
listen.
Arizona.
Every year don't need to have a Cinderella.
That's
every
true.
That,
year is
That's true.
not gonna be one.
that's the purpose
We
of
don't. If you
Cinderella.
look
The
at these
story. That's the
matchups,
purpose of Cinderella in the
none of
story.
these.
That's a
Cinderella
fact.
wasn't every girl that you just seen walk around
That's a
24/7.
big fact, Nadi.
She
That's
That's a
what you
just
look
told
big
at
fact.
these
around
for.
everywhere in the
If
blue
Exactly.
room.
every bitch was losing their fucking shoe at a party,
Who the fuck is Cinderella
everybody
then?
fuck would have shoes on. Like these hoes would be walking bare feet.
Facts.
Yeah.
So we don't need a
Let's
We
be
don't need
real
a
about it.
Cinderella every single goddamn year. That's what make them so important. That's what
Nah,
makes
fact.
people like them
That's
more.
like every nigga being a jock. Nigga, we wouldn't have bridges. Somebody gotta think this shit through.
Yeah. Come
Or
on.
we
Somebody
can't
got
have no
draw the
Okay.
Cinderella.
schematic.
The only reason they saying that is really because McNeese lost or
McNeese.
whatever.
A lot of people wanted McNeese and Drake.
Guess what? They won one game with the do. Shout out to them for winning that one game. But they
A
weren't
great
gonna beat
game. A great
Purdue.
game at that. They beat Clemson. A lot of
They
people had
weren't gonna
Clemson
beat
going deep.
Purdue.
For sure.
Yeah,
But see,
Purdue's still pretty solid.
but see,
Because
if I'm
last
going
year
to
they went to the national
Purdue
championship.
Purdue is not. No, wait, hold on.
They did. They went to the national
Yeah.
championship. They had the big guy. I
Purdue
can't
is
forget his
nice,
last. I think his
bro.
last name was like
But he did play for Purdue.
Edie,
But
Michael
Purdue.
Edie or
but
something like
Been
that.
a
um,
solid
Come on.
program for a
what I was
couple.
about to say, I mean McNeese. If so, for example, back to our convo earlier, like just get me there. If I'm at McNeese, bro, I already know we not supposed to be here. I need to
I'm
show
gonna
out
show out.
to this team, and potentially my name gonna go on. Perfect example,
Brother,
Murray State. When the
brother,
hell have y'all ever heard of Murray State?
respectfully, on that team, ain't no name bigger
I went
on
with
that
Ja.
team than the damn team manager on McNeese.
And that's okay. That's okay. At the end of the day,
That
that's
brother got
today.
6
Murray
NIL
State
deals.
known for something else, and
But
it's
you
not
can't say
hooping.
that. You can't say that because one of the dudes is transferring,
Shout out Murray
and the
State.
dude with the NILs is transferring with him,
If
going to
you
the
know,
same
you
school, and
know.
I think they go into an ACC school.
Who?
So the one of the players from McNeese.
Oh, I'm about to say because I know the head coach is leaving and he's taking the
He's going to
manager.
NC State.
And he said he was taking some of his players.
I'm about to say I know he said he's taking the manager with him.
As he should, because looking at the ACC now, they need to be
They're
revitalized.
pulling the Deion Sanders.
I think how many teams did they put in the
I'm
tournament?
gonna go to a new program.
Looking at it, they only put in is Maryland ACC or Big Ten? I think they're Big Ten. Yeah, they're Big Ten. So no AC teams were even in this bracket, on this bottom half of it. Oh, Clemson, and they lost. And then up here, North Carolina, they lost to Ole Miss, and then Duke. Yeah, the ACC only put in 3 teams this year, when their standard is usually putting in half
But
the
also
conference.
the ACC got weaker because a lot of the Pac-10 or what is it, Pac-10, Pac-12, a lot of that division got deformed, like it got like collapsed, like that's not a thing no more. So a lot of the West Coast teams like Cal, Arizona, Oregon State,
They
like
coming over here.
they got to go over to the East Coast to play. So that's why you're not seeing as much representative. But to be honest, but they adding a lot of weaker competition among the conferences. You know, and that just I don't know. And North Carolina,
but in general though, I don't think every year we need to have a Cinderella.
Nah.
And I don't think every year we should out of nowhere start flipping the tables because we don't have a Cinderella.
Every year but I'm gonna say this: every year you're going to have a Cinderella, but people got
just not gonna be the same team.
They're not going to the Final Four, and
but I think people at least want the Cinderella to get to the Sweet 16.
People don't understand that that's a Cinderella story.
They want you to. They want to see them get out the first 2 rounds because if you get out of this past weekend,
that's not going to happen every year.
It's not going to happen. But
you're gonna get.
But that's the thing though. It usually does.
Get that one team that upsets the big team in the first round.
It doesn't usually happen.
It's not a give. Like
I'm pull it up.
We shouldn't have to constantly hoot and holler and flip chairs and all this stuff because a team that wasn't supposed to make it out the first round made it out the first round and they got beat in the second round.
Okay, I'll give you a perfect example.
They weren't even supposed to make it past the first round. So what made you think they were going to make it past the second round sometimes?
Think of just the top draft picks over just 5 years. Every Cinderella story that made it, motherfucker went 1, 2, or 3. Other than that, everybody went regs. And why I'm saying that is let's think of last season. Those guys who went 1, 2, and 3, niggas wasn't playing in the Final Four. I don't even know. We don't even know these guys, but we can go to season before that. Paulo went to Duke. I don't even think them boys made it to the Final Four. If
Nah, I
they
think they went to Elite Eight.
yeah, I'm about to say they got beat, but even then,
And I'm gonna be
ain't no
honest with you.
Cinderella story out of none of them teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said, like, you go back to a job. Nobody knew about Murray State.
Okay. I'll go off the past couple of years.
You go Marquette. Hell,
2023.
let's go back a little bit further.
Marquette
with Dwayne
2023, we had
Butler with Gordon Hayward. These
Yep.
teams
And
were
Murray
not.
State at HBCU. You know the
2023 Princeton
HBCU.
was in the Sweet 16. 2022
It's hard pressed to
St.
get the
Peters,
HBCU
wherever
to
the
the
hell that
tournament.
is,
St.
they
Pete.
made the Sweet
St.
16.
Pete.
Nigga, wherever that is,
2021
this nigga phony.
Creighton. If you
Nigga don't
count
show up
Creighton.
on the show and he don't know where St. Pete at no more.
No, St. Peters, not St. Petersburg. Not St. Pete, St.
Phony, boy.
Peters.
That nigga phony, boy.
He forgot
Loyola,
where he
I
come
ain't
from.
gonna count. Kennesaw made it a couple years ago too.
2021 Loyola. That's a Cinderella. 2019 bracket. Let's see who we got.
But like, is Cinderella? They make it to
Four and a half.
Okay. I'll
They
say
make it to the
2019.
dance, bro.
2019, no Cinderella. Everybody was kind of either ACC, SEC, or Big Ten.
But what are we
can find the
considering
Cinderella
Cinderella?
on there, bro?
Cinderella
Like,
is a
share
college.
your screen. Share your screen.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure.
Go to 2019.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out what are we going to keep determining.
I would say Cinderella is not part of the Power 5 conferences. I know it's different for.
That's not necessarily true, bro.
See, no. See, I'm not going to say that. My question
Because if you look at the most previous,
like,
because Villanova
that was a Cinderella situation. NC State last season was a Cinderella situation.
NC State.
Have we seen NC State go Final Four?
Long time.
But because they had DJ Burns,
I think also Cinderella.
If it's a conference,
they don't even make the tournament for real.
Being in the tournament.
They don't.
Like NC State, they make the tournament consistently. Maybe
NC
not
State
this past
does
year.
not consistently make the tournament. They have been recently a lot more now that they started.
So
getting
Cinderella if they not.
NC State was not consistent.
Just right there.
They make it.
Just wait. Go back.
Oh, what?
Yeah, just click them.
Yeah, I'll just click this. Let's see what they got. Let's see what we got.
Literally, I think they've been there regularly. Go back up.
74. Where?
Back in the day, they used to
here we go. So tournament appearances: 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 18. Took a gap in 2023, 2024. So the past 2 years, yes. Yeah, that's really it. Other than that, they were consistent. It depends. I'd say there was a gap definitely
it's timing.
A 5-year gap for sure. But
I would have considered.
2006 to 2012.
That's a 6-year gap. Yeah, they'll have. It seems like it'll be 5 straight. In the 2000s so far, it's been.
This is a Cinderella story. Years. Now go NC State. Go Duke.
This is NC State.
No, I mean not NC State. Go North Carolina. Go
North Carolina. That's gonna be
Cinderella. I think of like
Kentucky. Go Louisville.
Okay.
Louisville.
When I'm thinking,
when you say Cinderella story,
I'm thinking this is the amount. These are the.
What I'm thinking is when you say Cinderella story, I'm thinking Tulsa made Elite Eight. That's Cinderella story.
That's super Cinderella.
Cinderella story right there.
Cinderella.
When I'm thinking Cinderella, I'm thinking this team has made the tournament for the first time since 2005.
Yeah, that's what I think.
No. That's the problem.
Cinderella.
To me,
I'm thinking deeper. I'm thinking deeper than just.
That's another Cinderella.
It's been at least. To me, I'm thinking deeper. It's 5 years.
Considering a Cinderella story, if they actually move up into the upper echelon,
they were never ranked all season. When I say Cinderella, you weren't ranked all season.
That's not happening. How the hell I go from unranked to
Loyola
to this?
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
Right here, Loyola. They were not ranked.
If you go from bottom seed into the you enter in the tournament at a bottom.
No, it's 64 teams in the bracket. I'm talking about in the top 25 during the regular season.
Elite 8, Final Four section in that round of Elite 8. That's when it's a Cinderella story. But
I
say it could be Cinderella if you make the Sweet 16.
But I'm saying
no. I'm not going.
You got to make the Elite 8. So your standard is the bare minimum Elite 8.
A bare minimum Elite 8.
And that's what we don't see a lot.
In the nitty-gritty.
I would say my standard for it is probably going to be more towards that 16. But I'm 32. if you make it
So
to this,
if you win that first game,
if you make it to this conversation, it's
You
hell.
win
I'm
the 32.
gonna say,
Forward.
I'll even be lenient
I'm
and
down
drop
there
down to 16.
64.
But
you gotta think about it. You gotta win a
64. That
tournament.
means you just
gotta
made
win
it.
your
That's the
conference
first
that's
round.
no, I
Bruh,
say
but
I'll
you
you
be
gotta
have to
win
think
your
about
conference.
how many
16.
teams
You
are
have to
not.
win a
That's what I'm
conference
saying.
tournament
If
just to get a
anything,
spot.
I'll go 16 and up. But other
What
than that,
Frank is saying, literally.
anything less
So
than
if you're able to do that, you're Cinderella to me.
Okay. Well,
Make
here's
it a
one
That's what I'm
thing
saying. You
I'll
have
say
to
about
dominate your
one
conference
say
in
I'll
order to
say
even
about
get in this conversation. How
one
many
say
fucking
one thing I'll
colleges
say
is
about
there?
that. Yeah, because you win your conference, you're automatically in. So now you take away the conferences. I think it's maybe like 12 conferences in the Division One, possibly give or take. So that's 12 automatic bids. So that leaves what 48, 40? No, at least 52 other teams that they just got to put in. So most of those teams are probably not
But
going to have more than.
those aren't just teams that they just throw in
Well,
there.
yeah, of course.
And
They
that's
look at your record. They look at your conference record. Most of the
No, no,
times,
no, 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 no. It don't matter about that. That's why it's a Cinderella story. Because once you make it to your conference tournament, it don't matter about the record. If you win
you're
that
in.
tournament, you're in the damn.
well, depending on your conference, because some conferences, because look at HBCU. HBCU's only put 2 teams in, one to represent each
Bro,
conference,
what are we
and
But
it's
that's
the
why
same.
it's a
And it's the
Cinderella
same for
story.
listen
PWIs.
here,
It's the
listen here.
That's
same
why
for
it's a.
lower division
bro.
But
PWIs.
Jamel, that's why
Sit
it's a
here,
Cinderella story because
if we
if
sit
you
here
didn't win that
and be
tournament, you
But wait,
honest,
wouldn't be
hold on,
in
hold
the
on, hold
in
on,
the.
hold on. One person rebuttal my opinion at a time, because I
So
can't hear nobody.
that's why it's a Cinderella story because a team coming from a weaker conference, like their record wasn't enough for them to just get in the tournament. They had to win their
They had
conference.
to
Yeah,
do
for
something.
sure.
Yeah. That's why
If
I
they
said
didn't
I
win,
agree with
they
Kooley.
don't get in. That's why they're Cinderella.
Period. To
Okay,
me.
but
Because even like Kennesaw.
But if I
if
get in, okay, let's just say I win my conference, where my conference is lower competition. But then as soon as I get in the tournament, I get smacked by 50, which happens a lot of the times.
Yeah,
That's
my
no
question,
team
Cinderella story no
can I
more.
ask a question?
put up 30.
Can you pull something up for me real quick, Jamel?
What's up?
Can you pull up what is it? Florida Atlantic? It was like
FAU?
yeah.
They made it. That was like 2 years ago.
Can you
I
pull
think
up
that
their run real
was
quick? Just real quick.
their
But look,
run.
my team
Or
got
just like
smacked.
how far
That
they get.
was
But
that was 20. I think that was 2022.
if
No, it was
I can get us,
2023.
this is why Ja got
FAU.
this is why Ja got drafted top 2.
They
Do
got
you see
bounced
it?
where at?
They got bounced in the Final Four. They made it to the. That was a year where literally it was San Diego State, FAU, and Miami. 3 teams that never were really like that in
No.
basketball. UConn was the only team.
What seed was FAU?
They were a 9 seed. That's what
9?
made. That's also okay. Hold on, we can go there too because sometimes you could be a team that plays in the SEC, but you were ranked maybe 10.
Yeah.
You were a 10 seed, so that's also another
Huh?
thing too. Your
Yeah, your
seeding
conference
because we usually
should be a
don't
lot
see.
harder.
I think this was the first tournament where we didn't have a number 1 seed as well. I think a lot of people were talking about that 2023 year with Miami, UConn, FAU, and SDSU. None of them were like.
What they beat? They beat Memphis.
UConn was a 4 seed. I think UConn might have been the like most of the time we're
They
not getting no
they beat
champion that's
Memphis.
not a
They
top
beat
4 or 5
they
seed.
beat Fair Dickerson.
Let me Google that.
They beat Tennessee, and they beat Kansas State.
Oh yeah, to make Sweet 16, we could do that. Lowest team to make a Sweet 16. Florida Gulf Coast, I remember that they were a 15 seed. Let's see, Elite 8. Lowest seed to make an Elite 8. Oh, we'll just go to this one. Yeah, lowest seed we've ever had to win a title was an 8 seed, and that was back in '85. Lowest seed to even make the Elite 8 was a 15 seed, and that was 2022. Lowest seed we ever had make the Sweet 16 was a 15. So we don't really have these higher
agree with
seeds.
that point, Jamel. I agree with that point, Jamel. Because when I think of Cinderellas, I think of George Mason.
Yeah, like these teams that are like seeded out of the top 5, 6, 7, they not getting far. And most of the teams that are seeded,
They're
that
never
high,
gonna get far, bro.
most of those teams. That's what I'm saying.
But
even in football,
okay.
today,
But look
the
though,
way that
this is
they
what I'm
have
gonna say.
football, they're never gonna get high.
Let's be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest real quick. When we think about Cinderellas, I'm thinking about this is a low seed team that
A college we've never heard of.
that we haven't heard of.
An ambiguous location.
But
I'll
you
be
gotta
honest
be-
with you. Y'all thought St. Pete was. I'm talking St. Petersburg.
Right, to your point. Who the fuck knows what St.
Where is that at?
Hold
Where
up,
is
let
Loyola?
me get there.
I know
Hold
it's
up,
in
let me get
Chicago
there.
now.
You
but
guys look, low seed. You haven't
ambiguous.
heard of them. They have made it into. That's why I say Sweet
That's
16.
an upset.
I go to Sweet 16 and say they made it to Sweet 16. That is Cinderella. Because guess what?
That's an upset, bro.
That's
If I
To
had to
be a
beat a
Cinderella,
top
you have to
team,
upset.
no, you
but
don't.
you
To
have
be a Cinderella, you have to make it to the dance. Cinderella
But
made
that
it to the dance.
oh,
Cinderella
come
did not.
on,
no
man.
Cinderella
upset.
went to the
Cinderella
dance.
is
She's at the
Cinderella's
dance.
teams
Hmm.
are teams
You
that
putting the
don't have
story too much
no one
into
believes
you putting
in.
a real
Nah,
story into it.
bro. Why are we referencing it then? What are we doing?
Wow.
Why the
I
fuck?
don't know, man. I didn't make it up. I just learned this watching
No.
It
ESPN.
sounds good. He
Because
said we say it because
when
it
you call a
sounds
team,
good.
hold up,
Story.
because when you call a team a Cinderella team, that means they weren't supposed to be there. That's all
It
it.
wasn't
That's
supposed
all
to
it
be
means.
Period.
there.
They
Exactly.
were. Period. Not win or lose. They were never supposed to be here.
But guess what?
Period.
It means nothing if they.
Dance.
But hold up, Pat. It means nothing if they lose in the first round. You didn't even
Well, if
fucking
that's the
care.
case, and that means we do
Made
have a
it to
No,
the
no, 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 no,
dance.
Pat. If that's the
No.
case, that means we do have a Cinderella story every year. Then.
That's what I've been saying.
Oh, okay.
Made it to the dance.
You shouldn't.
To make it to the dance, that is Cinderella. Once I do an upset and pull an upset off, this shit becomes upsets or super
See
underdog
now, see
teams.
that's where I
No,
Now
just
you're an
I
underdog
just got a
Pat,
different
I
view
get
of
what
that
you're
has
it.
done
saying.
this and that.
I get what
But
you're saying, but with the
y'all gotta
statement,
look at it.
no,
How
it
many
makes no
teams
sense.
are? How many college teams is there in the nation?
How many D1
That to me,
basketball?
that makes no sense, though. I get no, not no.
352.
Hold up.
And 52, and out of
So okay,
352,
let's see. I'm
only
gonna do the numbers. Let me do the
64.
numbers.
So, what is the percentage of
64
that?
divided by 352. That's 18%. About 18% of the teams make
Under
it.
1 in 5 teams make it. There's
Okay.
352 teams. Under 1 in 5 teams make it. That
With
is a
31
Cinderella.
conferences. Okay, so my bad. I said 12
31
conferences. I was way
conferences.
off.
Look,
31 conferences. So half of the teams that are
that.
in are conference champions.
So let me get it straight.
You have to be the
Every
best in your
time,
conference.
every time a team gets into the March Madness and they get their ass smoked in the first round by 50 points or whatever, we gonna call them a Cinderella
I'm
every time.
not. I'm not.
Not every time, but it's certain teams like to what Mel said earlier.
Those would be
I
the
would
one
say,
Man,
Cinderella.
let's predict.
What?
Let's get through our
let me
predictions,
finish my
man.
sentence. Not
What?
every time is that going to
But you
happen.
just said
You just said every
Let me
team
finish my
that
sentence.
gets in that a low
Always
seed
going
like
to
that
be
are a Cinderella.
always going to be a Cinderella. Not every time is there going to be that scenario that you just said. There's going to be a Cinderella every time. There are teams on here. We have no fucking clue where they're at. They made it to the dance.
Listen, but Pat,
That's
Pat, I get what you're saying, but on the flip side of it, they have to win. And hold up, Pat,
How the
hold up,
fuck
because
is
I get
a
what you're
16
saying. Yes, it's an upset.
win?
That's when they get an upset. Okay, yes, it's an upset in that first round. Like, oh shit,
It's an
we didn't
upset all the way through.
hold up, because literally they get upset in that first round. Okay, they caught them on the bad day. Boom, whatever. They moved on to the second round. They win in that second round, and they win. And that team that had upset the other team in the first round, they win in the second round. Oh shit! Now we're on the cusp of a Cinderella story now.
No,
Because
nigga,
they
they was
They called this.
the
No.
only
They
reason
called this a.
the only reason we're
Nah.
saying that is because we're sitting there going, when is the clock gonna strike and they're out of this tournament? That's what makes them a Cinderella story. Because just like Cinderella, when the clock strikes midnight, they ask us about the tournament. That's
and
what
remember the whole time in
That's what
Cinderella's
it is.
story, her whole thing was getting to the dance. She didn't even have a fucking invitation. They treated her. That's what I'm saying, bro. You gotta. If we gonna use the reference, let's
Oh my
remember the
gosh.
story.
I see what you're saying, Pat.
Come on,
But
bro.
Time is gonna strike.
Well,
At
in
some
this
point,
case,
it's time to go.
Pat, if you want to go by that
And
rule,
and
majority
we
of the teams that
think
get the
time
invitation
is gonna.
to the party, they clock strike right when they get their ass bust.
they
By
don't get Prince Charming.
And we think time is gonna strike
That's
as soon
ridiculous.
as they make it.
Why
Oh,
even call them a Cinderella story?
this
They're gonna get
team
their ass
has
bust in
now
the first
took it.
round. It makes
This
no
team has
sense.
just beat them.
No one's
An
watching them in the
underdog.
first
They
round.
just
Hey, let us know
Okay,
what
hold
you
on,
think.
hold on.
What is
Hold on.
That makes
considered
no
a
sense.
I see
Cinderella
what you're
story
saying.
in the
Pat,
So
comments?
Pat, you want to go
hold on.
watch their ass
Please
on
hit
ESPN?
the
because
comments.
I beat the number
So
one team.
Pat, are you about to go watch that
Three,
team
now I'm fucking
that's
Cinderella.
motherfucking 15 seed on ESPN 4? Because you're not about to go watch
crazy.
it.
If
You're not a
basketball is
fucking
on,
Cinderella
if I
team.
have it right there, if I want to, if I look them up, when Kennesaw
I think
when Kennesaw
Najee
played
might
in the
have a
number one
good
seed, when
argument.
Kennesaw played the number one
They
seed,
kind
I
of
gotta
make
say.
some noise in the tournament.
I ain't going no more.
that was an underdog scenario. When Kennesaw made it to the fucking dance that they rarely make it to, that's an underdog scenario. That was a Cinderella. No, that's a Cinderella. If they won, the underdogs won. It's either way. It's a Cinderella underdog
I get
scenario
what you're saying,
that they were
but
never supposed
There's
to
a
be.
moment when the team goes from underdogs to Cinderella. And that moment when they go from
They're the
underdogs to
same thing.
Cinderella, huh?
A Cinderella team is an underdog team. That
Yes,
you can't
but the
you can't
title
say
was
okay,
that's
Pat,
why
hold
I
on.
keep
Let
saying
me say this.
Tennessee and Kentucky. Which one is Cinderella?
Neither of them.
neither of them.
So, but one of them is gonna be an underdog. It doesn't. I don't.
Yeah. I don't agree with that part.
Cinderella one day.
What do you mean?
Underdog. I'm always a Cinderella team.
Just because he's an underdog don't necessarily mean you're a Cinderella, but all Cinderellas are underdogs.
Underdogs.
That's true.
Always.
That's true. But what I'm saying is, I'm not gonna call a team a Cinderella until I see them
It goes from underdog to
get
Cinderella.
past a certain point.
Said it goes from
What
Cinderella to
Najee's
underdog.
saying you only
No,
a Cinderella.
I said underdog to
Roll
Cinderella.
win.
Roll the tape. You
In
said
the tournament.
Roll the tape. Roll the tape back. And I put $5 on it.
I don't have all that. I don't have the technology.
You said Cinderella.
It literally says underdog.
You've been arguing the whole time because you said I believe a team starts off as this and they become this Cinderella at one point. Now after we just
It becomes a Cinderella really
said
once
this,
they
you
get
just
to a
said
higher
Cinderella
level.
team becomes an underdog. Either way it
The whole
goes.
time, yep, Pat. The whole time, yes,
Always
they're
been
underdogs.
underdogs.
But
They're
guess
never
what?
not.
They're still underdogs throughout the whole entire time. Yes, but
Hold
guess
on.
what? When it comes to the media and trying to put a name on it, that's when it's going to become a Cinderella when we get to the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 section.
Thank you.
That's when it becomes
The
Cinderella.
media does not call you a Cinderella
when they're the
until
Do
you
you agree with
upset
this?
something. Because hold on.
Najee,
Let
do
me
you
talk.
agree with this?
Let me talk.
I
The
just got a
media-
quick question. Do you agree with this? If they make it, if they win they conference, then they make it to the tournament, they get out the first round, then they'll consider a Cinderella.
That's what I was about to say. Because a lot of the times the teams that are like the 15 seed or 14 seed, they lose that first round and or if they do get an upset, they usually win that second game. So a lot of the time the media doesn't like to spin that narrative of Cinderella until they make it to the Sweet 16 and they upset somebody. For real. That's when they start to say.
If niggas want to be right, they can wait to be right. It doesn't change. They were already a Cinderella. They were never supposed to be here. It doesn't change.
That's what you want to call it, man.
You're talking about a little statement of they wasn't supposed to be here in the beginning of the tournament. We're talking about they're not even supposed to be here.
They're not usually.
If they weren't supposed to be here at the beginning,
Pat, I get what you're saying.
A Cinderella means that you weren't supposed to be here, like you said, but that means you're also winning.
Now we're talking about in the statement of they weren't even supposed to be in Sweet 16 conversation. That's what makes them a Cinderella.
Yeah, they become a super. Like it's like, damn, these are super.
You're talking about they're Cinderella when they're in the when they're in round 64. At that point, no one gives a fuck about them at round 64 because we don't expect them to beat.
It's team 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
So if we want
at that point, every game they're going to be an underdog. But if they win that first round, it's an upset. They win that second game, it's an upset. Now we're in the Sweet 16.
They're a Cinderella story.
It is Cinderella story or a section now because
I don't agree with that.
Can they make a run now to the championship? Now we're in conversations. Oh, can they make a run to the championship? We wasn't talking about that. Oh, because they upset at Clemson in the first round and they beat Tennessee.
But also, let me play
from first round.
Huh?
That conversation from first round. A number 12 seed just beat a 5th seed. What can they do? What is their ceiling? We don't know.
Only people who's on that ground pushing that narrative at that point.
I wouldn't even say that McNeese was on the cusp of having the Cinderella story.
If I'm in a small conference and I'm a small school and I have beaten all right, let's go big conference. I'm in the ACC. Say like Duke was favored to win they conference tournament, but I knocked them off just to get a spot in the tournament. Wouldn't that make me a Cinderella? The fact that I knocked off a big dog just to make it to the tournament. Now I
had to beat them to get here.
Now the first one I ain't started yet. You know, I got my matchup, but I ain't beat nobody yet. That hasn't happened yet. But
no, no, you're not there yet. Because guess what? You beat the big dog to get in. All right. Now, okay, you say you beat Duke to get in. And in that first round, you get smoked by 30.
Okay, how about this?
Hold on. Before you
Hold
go
on.
on,
Okay,
hold on.
I'm gonna add some more to it.
No, and I'm gonna go off.
You get smoked in the first round by 30, and Duke moves on to the second round.
The
So
team
you caught Duke.
What if I come out first round? I'm competitive. What if I lose by like 8-10? But I'm competitive.
To be realistic, to be realistic about the scheduling. To be realistic, the way college basketball does it, if you're in a lower conference and you play Duke, that most likely happened at the beginning of the season. At college basketball, you play out of conference schedules first, and then the rest of the season is conference. So when you most likely beat Duke, that was early in the season. So the college basketball selection committee.
No.
I'm talking about.
I'm in a conference.
I'm NC State.
Oh, you're NC. I thought you said you're in a lower conference.
No, my bad.
Okay, my bad. I thought you said if I was a lower conference.
Okay,
sometimes they play out of conference a little bit.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question and a statement around there?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna just go to the pros real quick. When Miami came out to play in, right? We beat the Bucks in the first round. I forgot who we beat in the second round. Once we passed that team in the second round and faced off against Boston in the Eastern Conference Championship, we've entered in Cinderella story, correct?
No, I can't do it for the pros.
You were already a Cinderella.
I can't do it for the pros, man.
Based off the season that y'all had. Y'all were never supposed to make it to the playoffs. Had there not been a play-in, you wouldn't have made it. So
I can't use the Cinderella effect for the pros just because of the fact that I can't use the Cinderella effect for the pros because going back to what Pat was saying, only 1 in 5 teams make the tournament.
And that's my
compared to but what I'm saying is I'm not using the term Cinderella because also what came with Cinderella was also her being successful. And if you get bounced out the first round, you made it, but you wasn't successful. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me,
Cinderella wasn't successful.
Yes, she was quote unquote successful in terms of the entire story. She got the Prince Charming. And if you want to go off the story, you've been claiming the facts of the story, so let's do that. She was successful. It's not the fact that she just showed up. It's not the fact that she showed up. She won. Right. So you have to win to have the Cinderella story.
No. Cinderella did not necessarily win. There's a perspective from that. Oh, Cinderella could have.
Now you want to do perspective. You've been doing facts on the whole story the whole time.
No, because I love that. I love what you just said. Perfect example. I love what Najee said earlier. If a team is one of these lower seed, like for example, let's look at Grand Canyon, for example. Canyon, they got buzzed by 40 something. Open the team. Open the stats, please. But there's going to be someone from their team.
23
Grand Canyon. Who? 23. My boy
Tyon Grant Foster. Man played 34 minutes.
Boom, boom, bam. All of those stats. Regardless, his name is brought up. He can go into the transfer portal now and go to a top seed team. So he did win. The thing is they were never supposed to.
Oh, we're doing that now. Come on, bro.
I've said this multiple times through the whole conversation. If I get to the dance that I was never supposed to be in and we get bust by 30, and the same way we got to the dance is nine times out of 10 going to be through one player.
You're talking about
going back to the underdog.
Yes, individual success.
You're going back to your underdog.
Teams are only going to have
that person got individual success. We're talking about
the team was going to make it
right now.
How was the team going to make it? Is he not a part of the team? Is the individual who went up, who's probably ACC or conference champion?
What Jamel's talking about is team success. You're talking about this one dude who dropped 23 while they got
can't use a Cinderella story for that.
Is he not? Perfect example. Jimmy Butler, who led Miami to their finals appearances. It was Jimmy Butler, nigga. No Jimmy Butler, y'all never making it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same for Purdue last year.
One player.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it a Cinderella story. That just makes it
Again, I keep going back. When the fuck have we ever heard of that school?
Not until John Morant played for them.
All right, then. And the one player, when did they lose?
I can't remember when he lost.
I want to say it was Sweet 16.
I want to say Sweet 16.
Yeah, that's Cinderella.
I don't even know if he made it that far. I don't even know if he made it that far. But my point is, We know this nigga was balling all year. Their team would
Nah, I
have
don't
never
know
made
about
it.
all year.
Their
Nah,
team
he
would
was
have
balling all year.
never made it
Yeah,
without
they
Ja
never would have made
Morant
it.
on the team.
Yeah,
No,
okay,
I'm
so
just saying.
To that
No,
point,
I know
Okay.
Ja
when
was
is he
good. I
gonna
watched
get
his highlights.
drafted? We don't even fucking know what seed he
You
made it to. We don't know if he went Sweet 16, Elite 8. We don't know. But the
Look
nigga
at
got
this.
drafted top 2.
okay, well now you changing the conversation.
That's
Of
all
course.
I'm
Individuals
saying.
on the team. No,
He a
it's not.
politician.
It's
He gonna
not.
do that.
It's the same
He a
shit.
He doing the
politician.
The
weave.
fucking Sweet Six, the Cinderella team that made it is 9 times out of 10 gonna be led by a leading player in their conference.
I
A
ain't gonna
leading
lie,
player
Pat.
who can
I'm
fuck
gonna
with
try to help
anybody
you out, but
across
you're
the
backing
league.
yourself in the corner.
No, it's not.
Man, let's just
Y'all,
get,
I don't know which y'all. It's the same thing for football. Now that they just changed this shit, you're gonna see one team probably make it at the beginning, and that team is not fucking with these teams that would have been in it before. We saw this multiple years over and over, but they had one skilled guy or a guy on their team that is like, if them niggas,
Hey.
that nigga was there,
All
they
I'm gonna
wouldn't
Or
have
say,
made
niggas
it.
got hot.
all I'm gonna say is,
Sometimes niggas just get hot. You ain't got no superstars.
McNeese
The
was
team just
McNeese a Cinderella story?
Name a
No.
team that has
No,
had that.
it was not.
Name a team
They
that
were
some
very
teams
close.
just get hot and they don't have a guy on their team.
I
McNeese
can't. I'm not disagreeing with that. McNeese
VCU.
was not a Cinderella
they
because
got an
they did not
upset
beat
on
Purdue.
Clemson because they won by 2.
They
And
upset some
if
teams.
they would have beat Purdue, and I mean like if they would have beat Purdue and if that would have been by 2 points or whatever, that and we still would have been that cusp of oh shit. All right now. Did they win by a game winner? Oh shit, we must be on the Cinderella.
I think no matter how,
type
if they
stuff.
had beat Purdue, it's a Cinderella story regardless. Because
Yeah.
because going back to what Pat was saying, how underdog, every Cinderella is an underdog, but not underdogs or Cinderella. However, we were saying it's the same thing as all teams, all Cinderellas aren't supposed to be there.
I
But
said
just
that,
because
but-
you're not supposed to be here doesn't mean you're a Cinderella yet.
Right.
That's just what I'm saying. You're not a Cinderella till you
Don't
start.
give my credit
some
to Pat.
wins.
Like,
Said what?
so
Some
Okay,
teams,
well to Kooley, whoever said it.
to Cooley's, but I mean, even to
like
our
I said,
conversation,
I mean,
is St. John's a Cinderella story?
who?
St.
They're a
John's.
2 seed.
St.
Just
John.
because we ain't,
Again,
Nah, I wouldn't
I
consider.
can,
Nah.
I can see where.
Nah.
Hold on,
Nah,
I can see where you're going with that.
A Cinderella underdog or
They're
nothing,
not
because that's
at
a
all.
basketball program.
That's true.
So
Villanova.
when was the last? But
They,
when was
they
the
are
last
known
time
to
we
be
talked
in
about
and
St.
out of
John's?
country.
When was the last time St. John's was in the tournament? When we looked up NC State, we seen they was. But we don't know when the fuck the
It don't
last
matter,
time
they
St.
got
John's
Well,
was in the
I'm
tournament.
gonna tell you
What we
Pat,
do
I'm gonna
know-
tell you, Pat, can I tell you why
They got championship.
they're not considered Cinderella? Because we've been talking about them majority of the whole entire season. About the fact that
Right.
with Rick Pitino,
Because their program is a top program now. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for
never
sure.
gonna change.
It's
But
always been a top.
who did they know? It hasn't always been.
Yes,
it ain't
yeah,
always been a top program.
I feel like
It
it
ain't always
has.
been a top program.
It
It ain't
it's
used to
always
be.
been a basketball
It used to
program.
be.
Period. It's
It
been a
used to
basketball
be.
program. Period.
No.
I mean, it
Because
can
really,
be a
They're not known for
we could say the
football.
same, but we could say the same thing about Georgetown. We could literally say the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Georgetown
think they in the tournament this year.
used to be
They ain't
always
been in the tournament in a while.
We used to talk about them every single year. We're not really talking about them no more. That's just what it is.
Now that just is what it is. Some schools is gonna lose that notoriety. It is.
Some schools gonna lose it.
UCLA was a
They
number
have a
one
historic history
in the '90s for forever.
Yeah.
Like in the '90s and the
Now
'80s.
They have a basketball
in-
they're
legacy.
around. They're not
they're not blue
they're just
blood.
around.
Their women's
They're not
program
a-
is better
They're
now.
not a blue blood. Think about that. Blue
Right.
bloods started up out the '90s. UCLA before was the move, and USC. That's how it go.
Yeah.
That's only the move for the women now.
Pac-12 was the move.
Yeah. But let's get into it. Before we get up out of here, we're gonna do some quick predictions for the Sweet 16.